All right, guys. 5:30 on the dot, a little after, but it's September 21st, 2015. We're on our Elevation Coaches team call, and today we're going to be talking about the sacrifices that we need to make, or that you can make, in order to earn a full-time income with Beachbody, or replace someone else's full-time income, maybe a spouse, a family member, significant other. You guys, a lot of you know my story with me when I got into Beachbody. I had no intentions of making this into a business. I wanted a discount, and I figured, hey, I'm talking to people about Beachbody stuff already. I'm helping them. If I make a little money, cool. And then I saw the potential, and that's where I said, you know what? There's some goals that my family and I have. I'm going to work my butt off to get there, and I sacrificed big in order to get there in the least amount of time possible. So we're going to be talking a little bit about what those sacrifices that I made were, and how you can implement those into your own daily schedule in order to reach your goal, if your goal is to replace full-time income. And if it's not, that's totally cool. You can still implement some of these things just to add to your level of income. Maybe you're just trying to cover a car payment or something. That's what a lot of people do. They're just trying to pay off a few credit cards to be debt free. Okay, for me, I wanted to get my wife home from work, and now I'm well into my way to replacing my own income as well as her income. So with that being said, there's a few ways you can go about this. You can do the fast track, or you can do the slow and steady. Okay, I always hear these comparisons about what success is like, and they always compare success to like the tortoise and the hare. And there are guys who have made billions and billions of dollars who I see say, you know, be the hare or be the tortoise, slow and steady, just consistency, slow and steady. And then I see other incredibly successful entrepreneurs and in our industry who say success loves speed. So get out there, get after it. Okay, and I think both people are right. It depends on what your goals are and how urgent your goals are. So you need to decide, whatever it is you want to achieve as a coach, you have to decide how urgent that goal is. If it needs to be, you know, if you got an eviction notice on your door and you got to earn some money in the next 30 days or you're out on the street, okay, the urgency of your goal is going to be a lot higher than the person who just wants to cover the cost of their Shakeology. Totally different goal, totally different time frame, totally different situations. So you can be the tortoise, you can be the hare. Just decide on what you want to achieve and set a time limit to it. Say, hey, I'm going to be at this point. I want to be at this point in 24 months, because what that's going to allow you to do is it's going to show you what you need to produce or what you need to achieve on a monthly, weekly basis in order to reach that goal, say in 24 months. So if you tell me, hey, Todd, I got to earn $50,000 a year with Beachbody in the next 24 months. I say, awesome. I know for a fact from my own experience in replacing my wife's income, that was around what she was making as an office manager for the Schnitzer Steel Corporation. I know from my own experience doing what I did with blogging and YouTube and the way I built my business, that requires an average of 2 to 3 hours per day commitment to creating resources, reaching out to new people. I personally did a lot of investing in tools in order to help my videos and my blog posts rank on Google. I had a buddy at work today. He Googled P90X3 guide, and he emailed me at work. He's like, holy crap, dude, you're like the first 2 images on Google Images for this. And I said, that was exactly my plan. My plan was to get to the top of Google. So that's how I did it. And in 18 months, I brought my wife home from work. And I knew I needed that level of commitment in that short of a time frame. So set that time frame. A goal without a time frame is not much of a goal at all, because it creates no sense of urgency whatsoever. But if you put a time frame to it, it creates a sense of urgency. And like I said before, that level of urgency is going to vary depending on your time frame and what the goal is, and the severity is a bad word, but the loftiness, we'll call it, of that goal. So for me, that was 2 to 3 hours a day, and there were nights where I would stay up till 11, 12, 2, 3, 4 in the morning. There were nights where, I would do 2 hours every day during the week, and then on a Friday night, I would stay up all night. I wouldn't go to bed. It was just, I was on a roll. I was creating content. I was learning. A lot of those nights when I was staying up that late, I was doing research, and I was watching YouTube videos on how to rank your content at the top of Google. I was watching other internet marketers talk about how to reach new audiences. It was a lot of research time for me because I wanted to build my business in a particular way so that people were coming to me rather than me having to go out and find people. Now, when I first started out, I spent a lot of time reaching out to new people, which is what a lot of you guys are going to have to do starting out. That's what we all do. We reach out to our warm market. That's what you would call like your family, friends, coworkers, acquaintances. That's called your warm market. Okay, and then once you've exhausted that list of people, you've gone through them, you've spoken to them, invited them to a challenge group. Maybe they're already into fitness and stuff, and you go to them and say, hey, I think I just joined Team Beachbody. I'm a coach. I'm pretty fired up about what I have the opportunity to do, and I think you would be amazing at it too. You want to check out a video and give me your opinion? Okay, you can present the coaching opportunity to people on your first contact. There's lots of things you can do as a new coach, but going back to your schedule and a time frame. So I'm just going to go through some of the sacrifices that need to be a part of creating your schedule and determining how much time and when you're going to put time into your coaching business in order to replace your income. So when I started my journey as a coach, I woke up at 4:15 a.m. And some people, that sounds like one of the greatest sins of mankind that has ever been conceived, for being awake at 4:15 a.m. I never thought in a million years that I would be waking up at 4:15 a.m. to press play on a 1-hour workout, and on Thursdays, a freaking 90-minute yoga workout with P90X. It was stupid, but I did it because I had a goal. I was sick and tired of where I was, and I wanted to be somewhere else in 90 days. Now, that didn't happen in 90 days for me. It took longer, but I stayed focused. Okay? And one of those sacrifices I made was waking up earlier to do my workout, to check in with my challenge groups, to check in and respond to emails, to check in on Facebook and reach out to new people on some of the like pages that Beachbody had out there, like the P90X like page, the Insanity like page. Again, I've said this on team calls before, don't go to Beachbody fan pages. They are riddled with coaches trying to message people. It's not a good place. If you want to go somewhere to find new people to connect with, go to Facebook fan pages that are associated with your interests or your hobbies. For me, that would be shooting guns, RC car racing, engineering, those kind of things. I would go to those like pages and start connecting and creating conversations with people based on mutual interest rather than Beachbody. Because I can tell you that the people who do comment on Beachbody's fan pages are probably getting real sick and tired of being messaged from coaches saying, hey, do you want to join my free private Facebook group where we encourage each other? They're sick of it. So don't do that. Don't be one of those coaches. All right. So that's sacrifice number one, is waking up early. That was the only time I had available to do that, because at what time did my kids have to be at daycare? I had to be to work at between 8 and 8:30 a.m. So that meant I had to get my kids to daycare at 7:30 or 7:45 in order for me to be to work on time. So that meant I had no time to do that 1-hour workout unless I got up at 4:15 a.m. And then that workout from 4:15 a.m. to about 5:30 a.m. Okay, and then from 5:30 till 6, that's when I was checking in with challenge groups. That's when I was replying to emails, replying to YouTube comments. So I'd have like that 30 minutes in the morning where I was sort of just checking in with everyone after my workout. And then number 2 was after I was at work, okay, I would have breaks. I have breaks at 10:15 Well, actually, I can take them whenever I want, but I sort of organized it for myself. A 15-minute break at 10:15, a 1 hour break from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m., and then another 15-minute break at 4 p.m. Okay. On that 15-minute break at around 10:15, 10:30 in the morning, I would post on my personal Facebook wall. I would post something inspirational, something motivational. Maybe it was a picture of my snack or something, but I was dead set on presenting the new image that I had of myself, of being an inspiration, of being a person who motivates other people to do better, to reach for higher goals. I wanted to be the person that people look to when they wanted to achieve something bigger. So I started to act like that person with my social media page, through posting motivational content, inspiring content, informational content that helped people move closer to their goals, all those things. So that's what I did at 10:15. My first break is I would post on my public Facebook wall, and I would also check in with my challenge groups and post in there. So it's only 15 minutes. You can get a lot done if you have zero distractions in 15 minutes. Trust me. I've seen people with just 1 hour a day. I got a buddy. His name is Chris Ballmer. If you guys want to connect with him on Facebook, he's awesome. He is the arena manager for the Cleveland Cavaliers. I don't know what NBA arena that is, but he manages the entire arena and all of its events. And he works 60 to 80 hours a week, sometimes more than that, when events are just one after another during the summer, like concerts and all that stuff. He works 60 to 80 hours a week. He put in 30 minutes to 1 hour a day into his coaching business for 2 years. I think he's been a coach for 5 years now. Okay, after 5 years of coaching, this guy is earning $60,000 per month as a coach. And it's through consistency that he achieved that. And through being just crazy focused on removing distractions during the time he had to focus on his Beachbody business. And that's a sacrifice he had to make. He only had minimal amounts of time, so he had to be laser focused. He could allow no distractions during the time he was focused on building his business. And that included reaching out to new people, doing his blog posts, updating his Facebook like page, learning about how to advertise on Facebook. There's a lot of things you can do to reach new people, and he was committed to doing that. So the next sacrifice would be your break time. If you have a full-time job, what are you able to do at your break time? During my lunchtime, that's when I would write my blog post. That's when I would spend 60 minutes writing my blog post. And then on Thursdays, I didn't do a blog post. I would actually drive home for lunch on Thursdays. I would change into workout clothes. I would record a video. I would change back into my work clothes, drive back to work. And when I got back to work, I had about 10 or 15 minutes left on my lunch break because I only lived 3.5 miles away from my job. And I would upload my YouTube video. So I would spend every single Thursday creating one YouTube video and uploading it on my lunch break. Every single Thursday without fail for at least 6 months. At least 6 months. And then I started to do more videos because I noticed that I was getting a great response from YouTube videos. People seemed to enjoy, my foolishness and the jokes and just kind of the fun stuff that I did on YouTube. And I enjoy it too. I enjoy making people laugh, and I enjoy educating them at the same time. I'm a firm believer in the concept of entertain and educate, because if you can capture people's attention, they're going to be much more likely to listen to what you have to say. And if you go on my videos, a lot of people say, don't make your YouTube videos, more than 5 minutes long. If you go to some of my YouTube videos, if I took you to my account on YouTube and showed you how long people watch my videos, I've got, between 10 and 15-minute videos on there where I have nearly 80% retention on my videos until people start to stop watching, which is unheard of. And I accredit it to, making people enjoy their time while watching my videos. So that's another place that I sacrificed on my break time, was at my lunch. And then my final break at 4 o'clock, from 4 to 4:15, I would do the same thing as my first break. I would check in with my Facebook groups. I would post on my public Facebook wall. I would start a few more conversations with people on Facebook like pages. Okay, and I would take that 15 minutes, just laser focused. Here's what I'm going to do. Bam, bam, get it done. And then I'm back to work until the end of the day at 5:30 or so, 5:36. Now with my job, it can be incredibly demanding because it's customer driven. I'm a sales engineer. So when the customer says, I need your proposal by tomorrow morning at 8 a.m., if I'm not done, then I'm staying up all night to get that thing done. So there were some nights where I didn't have an opportunity to work on my coaching business that night because I had to focus on my engineering proposal that I had to get out. Now, I didn't let that stop me. Okay. And we're going to get to that. We're going to get to, some of the things we use as excuses in order to tell ourselves that we really don't have time for this. I can't afford to sacrifice here. Okay. Again, it goes back to the level of your goal and the urgency of that goal. Because depending on what those are, it's going to determine your actions, and whatever you do on a daily basis is either it's going to take you closer to your goal or it's going to take you away from your goal. If you decide, oh man, tonight I really don't want to learn about blogging, or I don't want to learn about creating a Facebook like page, or I don't want to reach out to 5 new people and start a conversation. I just don't feel like doing it. Successful people don't let their actions be driven by how they feel. Success is not about how you feel. Success is about doing something whether you feel like it or not. And you guys understand this from your workouts. You know that success is dependent on you doing the activities that will help you reach your goal. You know that if you slack on your nutrition, you're not going to get to your goal as fast. You know that if you skip 3 workouts a week, you're not going to reach your goal as fast. And you're going to be disappointed in your results. It's the same thing with coaching. It's the same exact thing. If you don't do the daily activities, if you're not practicing the 3 vital behaviors, if you're not getting in your personal development, if you're not inviting new people to take a look at what we have to offer, inviting them to challenge groups, or possibly just starting a conversation with a person to build that relationship, if you're not doing your workout and drinking your Shakeology, if you're not doing those 3 things every single day, you're not going to reach your goal in the time frame that you want. Unless, again, going back, it depends on what your goal is and the urgency of that goal. If you're just trying to cover the cost of your Shakeology and you got 3 family members who want to drink Shakeology because they don't want to work out and they just want to drink a shake, and that covers the cost of your Shakeology, cool, you reached your goal. That's totally fine. I'm okay with that. But if you tell me, Todd, I want to earn a full-time income in the next 18 months, and you're not putting in 2 to 3 hours a day, I don't believe you. I don't believe you for 1 second. If you say you want to earn a full-time income, you're not putting in 2 to 3 hours a day. But if you draw that out to 4 years, okay, you can put in 30 minutes to an hour a day. Again, level of your goal and the time frame, the urgency, that's going to determine how much time you need to put into this. So break times at work, that was my number 2 sacrifice. My number 3 sacrifice was my nighttime. Okay, I didn't sit down and watch, all of season 3 of Walking Dead. I didn't watch TV. I didn't have time for it. My goal was way, way bigger than the satisfaction I would have got from finding out who got offed on the blacklist. So it's you have to, this time that you have at night, I'm going to talk about this in my 4th one, which is about communication with your family. I'll just tell you what my schedule was like. When I got home, I got off work at 5:30. I get home, I'm doing no Beachbody at this point. So from 5:30 till about 8 o'clock, no Beachbody. Totally focused on giving my wife a break from the kids and, playing with the kids and focusing on them until they go to bed because I have such a short amount of time with them in the evenings, and giving my wife a break so that she doesn't have to, she just wants to cook dinner without kids on her legs. So I manage them while she's doing that stuff. And that's what I could do for her in that time. But as soon as the kids went to bed, okay, sort of number 3 and number 4 sort of blend into each other. you have to sacrifice your nighttime if your goal is big enough and you have that 2 to 3 hours a day or more. You got to sacrifice your nighttime activities. That could be watching TV. That could be hanging out with friends 5 nights a week. If you're doing that, you might need to cut that back if you want to reach your goal. I'm going to let you guys discern. I'm not going to tell you that you can't, but you need to discern whether spending time with friends, or maybe you're playing Call of Duty way too much. You have to determine whether that's holding you back from reaching your goal, or if it's going to slow the process to a point where you're not comfortable with it. If you know that whatever you're doing in the evenings is not helping you make steps toward your goal in the time frame that you want to reach it, then it's time to cut whatever it is that's taking up that time. For me, that was watching TV. So I cut that out. And that's when I focused on learning more about search engine optimization. That's when I would reach out to more people on Facebook fan pages. I would start new conversations. I was starting 20 to 30 conversations a day on Facebook fan pages. When people, let's say, for example, I would go to the Glock website. Glock is one of the greatest manufacturers of firearms of all time. Okay, I would go to their website or their Facebook fan page. Someone would comment on one of Glock's posts, and I would reply to that person's comment. What kind of Glock do you have? Or I would go to Smith & Wesson's website, and I say, hey, I just got the new M&P Shield. How do you like the 40 cal? I bought it chambered in 9mm. Okay, you can start conversation. I would start 20 to 30 of those conversations per day, just with the intent of building a relationship with that person based on a mutual interest. And once I started to chat with that person, I would shoot them a friend request or tell them to shoot me a friend request after we had gone back and forth with about 5 or 6 comments on one of the posts. And then I would start talking to that person in a private message. I would say, how long you been shooting? Or you do mostly, are you shooting steel targets? Are you at the range? Well, I mean, I would just keep the conversation going on based on mutual interests. And then, as I would build that relationship, I would see their posts in my newsfeed. I would like their posts, comment on their posts. And this is something new coaches get really frustrated with. They don't understand that building relationships takes time. And some of these people that I talk to, I mean, I don't know if Heath is on the call. I think the first thing that I communicated to Heath was like something about a Shakeology sample or something. And that was the first communication I had. I think it was years before I ever invited Heath to a challenge group. Years. We had just sort of been liking each other's posts, commenting every once in a while. And then I said, just out of the blue, just like, hey, bro, I'm doing that 30-day challenge group, and I know you had some goals way back when. We've been chatting every once in a while. You think you want some more info on this group? And Heath now is one of the leaders of Elevation Coaches. He's on fire. He's connected with people every single day, inspiring and motivating. And it was a result of that relationship that we built and just that initial contact with him that was based on mutual interest. So working at nighttime, that's a huge, huge area for a lot of people. Maybe you have to sacrifice social activities. Maybe you got to sacrifice TV. Maybe you got to sacrifice video games. Maybe you even have to sacrifice some family time. And that bleeds into number 4. Number 4 sacrifice is that you need to communicate with your family and friends what your goals are and what sort of time commitment your goals require. Okay? And you want to express to your family what the result of your sacrifice is going to be. Because if all of a sudden you're just non-existent to them, they're going to feel bitter. So you got to explain, hey, here's what I'm going to be doing from 8 o'clock until midnight every single night. Now, it's not that I don't love you anymore, but if I focus on this for the next 12 months, if I do this for the next 12 months, we're going to be able to spend all the time we want together. And you need to present the benefit of the sacrifice to your friends and family. Now, for me, okay, this is going to go into number 5, communicating to friends and family. Number 5 is going to be your hobbies and your interests. I don't know how much time your guys' hobbies and your interests take up, but for me, I love softball. Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening, softball takes up 2.5 to 3 hours. And if that started to get in the way, I didn't quit softball because I committed to taking Sundays completely off Beachbody and not doing anything. But if those games would have fell on a Tuesday night, like some of the leagues, I would have cut softball. Okay, I also like racing RC cars. Okay, racing RC cars, it's a childish hobby, but it's so fun. Okay, but I had to cut that. Number one, it costs money. It costs like $30 every single time you go racing because of race entry fees. And then you got parts that break when you're racing, and then you got tires that you go through every single race, and the cost just racks up. And it's a fun activity. It's a fun hobby that I gave up. Look, the cars, I'll show you guys. The cars are just sitting here. They haven't been used in a long time. They're just sitting there because my goals are way, way bigger. And it's going to be way more fulfilling when I reach my goal of being a full-time Beachbody coach than the temporary fun that I have racing. When I'm a full-time Beachbody coach, I can go to the track whenever I want. That's the cool part. I can do it whenever I want. So you got to take a look at your own hobbies and your own interests, where you're spending your time, and you have to determine, do I need to cut this out? Is the time I'm spending in this area preventing me from getting to my goal in the time frame that I want to reach my goal? So I'll go back over that list really, really quick. Number one is wake up earlier. That's a sacrifice you just got to make. Sleep is a sacrifice you're going to have to make. There was a 6 to 9 month period where I was getting an average of 4 to 5 hours of sleep per night. That's based on my time frame of my goal. It could be totally different for you. Some of you guys need 8 hours of sleep. I know as I'm getting older, I'm going to be 32 this year. If I get 4 to 5 hours of sleep a night, let's see. This morning I set 1, 2, 3, 4, 7 alarms. Okay, I have my clock radio for 5 a.m. I have my work phone that goes off at 5:05, 5:10, and 5:15 a.m. And then I have my personal cell phone that goes off at 5 a.m., 5:15, and 5:30 a.m. I have 7 alarms set. Okay. So I know, because I'm getting older, I know that I am more prone to just hit the snooze button, go back to sleep. And there's been nights, I kid you not, you guys, there has been nights where I will turn off all 7 alarms, or in the morning, I'll turn off all 7 alarms, and I won't remember a thing. I don't remember because I also set these alarms all over our room. I put one phone in the master bathroom, I put one on the dresser, and then one on my nightstand. I mean, I do everything possible to get my feet out of bed and awake. And there are mornings, especially when I get like 2 to 3 hours of sleep a night, there'll be a morning where I turn off every single alarm, and I don't ever remember waking up to turn those alarms off because my body is just so drained. And that's when I know that I need to cut back a little and manage my time better. Because usually that's a result of not managing my time well and having to work later on Beachbody stuff. So sleep is a sacrifice. Your break times at work, if you're able to do that, spend time. Maybe you don't have a job where you're at a computer, but you could be out in your car, maybe on the telephone, making calls and talking to people about joining your next challenge group. You could be on a call with your coaches that you've brought into the team and talking with them about how they can get more people into challenge groups and helping them achieve Success Club and those kind of things. Number 3 is sacrificing your nighttime. Sacrificing your nighttime, whether that's watching TV, whether that's hanging out with friends, whatever it may be. Number 4 is communication with your friends and family about your goals, okay? And then number 5 is sacrificing your hobbies and your interests for a short amount of time so that you can enjoy those a lot more in the future. One of Dave Ramsey's coolest quotes, I hope I don't botch this. He says, what is it? Live like no one else for a short amount of time so that you can live like no one else later. I think that's about what he says. Live like no one else now so that you can live like no one else later. Because when you stop your hobbies, when you give up TV, when you give up hanging out with people that, might bring you down or don't encourage you, they're going to ridicule you. Most people are not willing to give up hobbies or interests or TV for a goal like building an online business that will create freedom in the future. A lot of people don't have the capacity to see that far into the future and say, what I'm doing now is building the future that I want. A lot of people don't have that capacity, and they're going to look at you and they're going to ridicule you. I've had so many people, even my own wife told me when I started out as a Beachbody coach, she said, that thing is never going to work. It's a scam and it's never going to work. And then 18 months later, I said, oh, by the way, you can quit your job if you want. And she was kind of like, huh? And that's when it became real to her. So, all right. And then a few notes here at the end before we start our discussion. Success does not come easy. If you signed up on our team and somebody or me or somehow you got the impression that this was going to be easy, I'm going to tell you right now that it is not easy. It's incredibly difficult, and that's why not a lot of people succeed. I decided when I saw the opportunity that I was going to make this happen, and there was nothing that was going to stop me. It's a decision. Just like on your health journey, it's a decision that you make. Nobody's going to tell you otherwise. I know that I'm going to be working from home in the next 8 to 12 months. I know that I'm going to be doing that full time. There is no question in my mind. Nothing is going to stand in my way. And I was just as determined with my health and fitness. And that's the attitude you have to have if you have a big goal and a short amount of time that you want to reach that goal. So success does not come easy. There's going to be a lot of frustrations with coaching. You're going to get told no 1,000 times. You're going to get people that say, don't ever message me again. You're going to get people who, will make fun of your posts. You'll post something on your Facebook wall and somebody will make fun of it. And you're like, man, I don't know if I should message them and tell them to shut up or just unfriend them or delete their comment. Like, why are they being negative on my post? It's not easy, but not many paths that lead to success are easy. If you look at Bill, what's his name? Steve Jobs? No, Bill Gates. It was Bill Gates. He got told no by 209 banks before he found investors to invest in Microsoft. He got told no 209 times. And now the dude is responsible for some of the greatest technological advances our society has ever seen. It's amazing. But he got told no 209 times. I'm used to being told no. It doesn't affect me anymore. First few months, I got my feelings hurt every time someone told me no. I thought they thought that I was a terrible person and I was just trying to sell them something, and I got all butthurt about it. But not anymore. When someone tells me no, all that means to me is no, not right now. Right now is not a good time. That's all that means to me. Because people that have told me no, they come back around months or years later and they say, hey, Todd, remember when you messaged me about that challenge group? I think I need to join it now. So all I did was plant a seed. So success doesn't come easy. And also consistency. We talked about this a few minutes ago, but hopefully, I know Lonnie here, he just got Compound Effect today. Compound Effect is an amazing book. It will change the way you think about your health and fitness. It'll change the way you think about your business. It'll change the way you think about life in general. Just because the concept of the compound effect is small daily choices that compound over time into huge results. So a lot of you guys, when you got your first job and they offered you a 401k, they said, if you start investing now when you're, 22 years old versus starting investing when you're 30, that compound interest is going to be so much larger in just those 8 additional years, So it's this compound effect that is, I don't know if it's just the way the universe works or what it is, but it's amazing. If you make those small daily choices each day that get you closer to your goal, and usually it's the simplest decisions that are the hardest ones. It's the simplest ones because they're so easy not to do. It's the decision to go to your computer at 8 o'clock at night when your favorite show is on, and it would be so much easier to just say, I'll do that after my show. And then you never end up getting to it. It's a lot harder to say, you know what? I can watch that show in 12 months. It's going to be on Amazon Prime. It's going to be on Netflix eventually. I'll catch up when I've reached my goal. That's the harder decision. So making those decisions consistently on a daily basis, doing the 3 vital behaviors, that's what's going to get you to your goal. And then a question that you guys can ask yourself, your customers, your coaches that you bring onto the team, if they were to do exactly what you did on a daily basis, would they reach their goal? And that was a big thing for me as a leader, because last week I started filling out a daily checklist of tasks that I wanted to achieve. And I noticed that I was only getting about 60 to 70% of my tasks completed each day, because I would get distracted by, not being organized at work, not being organized with my time at home. And this week, I'm trying to be a lot more focused and organized, going to bed on time so that I can get up and do my daily activities before the kids wake up and all that stuff. So if your customers, if your team were to do what you were doing every single day, would they reach their goal? That's a good question to ask yourself. And then finally, don't compare yourself, or don't compare your level of success to other people's level of success, and don't compare your time frame to other people's time frame. That's really important, because I look at coaches who've been in this company. I've been a coach now for 4 years. I look at coaches who've been coaches for 18 months, and they're earning 10 times more money than me. They're earning $500,000, 250, I don't know what they're earning. They're earning a lot more than me. And I'm like, holy cow, they've only been doing this for 18 months. Okay. They're also a totally different way. They're building their business a totally different way than me. They have a different focus than I do. They have different goals than I do. So don't compare yourself to other people, and don't get down on yourself when you see other people achieving what you want to achieve faster than you were able to achieve it. That's only going to discourage you. All you can do, just like with your workouts, I look at pictures of guys like Sergey Kontin and Lazar Angelov, and these guys who are just absolutely shredded. And I was like, man, I want that. I want to get there. I want to get there so bad. And I'm comparing myself. I was like, man, I've been at this for 4 years, and I don't have anywhere near the body that these guys have. And then what I didn't see until like a month ago was that these guys have been lifting and focused on their fitness and nutrition for the last 12 to 15 years. But I was still comparing myself to them. Why am I not there yet? Why am I not there yet? And I still do it with the business. Say, why am I not at that goal yet? Why am I not a full-time Beachbody coach yet? This person did it. That person did it. You're on your own journey. So focus on your journey, what you can do, what you can be consistent with, what you can sacrifice, and don't compare yourself to other people. So that's what we got tonight, guys. That's what we got for making sacrifices, what sacrifices you need to make in order to become a full-time coach and replace your income. So what I'll do now, I think if you guys want to unmute yourselves and ask any questions, or maybe you guys just had a realization tonight of some things that you could possibly sacrifice that you want to share with the group and commit together to achieving, that'd be awesome. So I'll open up the lines. You guys can talk freely.
Hey, can you guys hear me?
We can.
Yes.
Yes, you can. Okay, just checking. It's Belinda.
Hey, Belinda.
Hi.
You don't say.
Did you have a question, Belinda, or you just want to see if we could hear you?
I don't usually jump onto the phone, so I was just checking to see if you guys could hear me.
We got you.
Yeah.
But yeah, usually I love seeing your faces. But I'm really grateful for what you just said there, because I felt like I really needed to hear it.
Good. Well, I hope you guys got some value from this. All right. No questions?
No, I mean, the only thing I can just reiterate about is I think managing your time is just huge. So, I know it especially is for me because I already don't watch a whole lot of TV and I feel like there's not enough time in the day. So, I know from my perspective that there's definitely things that I can do to be more efficient with my time. And it's just a matter of, getting your priorities and your goals and what you want to do with it and making it happen.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for me, I think it comes down to a lot of times time management and focus. For me in particular, I don't have so much of a problem in organizing my day and I don't mind even being super strict on myself. I think I love that kind of structure for myself. But I do find that sometimes I can lose my focus or get distracted or watch one too many videos and, it wasn't part of the schedule to watch this many coach training videos versus the amount of time I gave myself to be inviting or something like that. So
Yeah.
I guess the tug of war of balance and focusing and staying true to that schedule even whilst or after you've made this sort of blockade and you realize where you have the time to put in the time and really abiding to, what you've set for yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, I forgot what book it was that I was reading, but the guy was saying he can look at your daily life and what activities you're focused on and can tell you exactly what your goal is. So that was a good reality check for me. If someone from the outside was looking at my daily activities and what was I doing, what would they make of it? What would they say if they had to determine my goal based on daily activities? Would it be to be in the top 25 players of Call of Duty in the nation? Or I don't know. I know. We have a guy on our team who was ranked number 4 in the nation on Call of Duty, gave all of it up to focus on his health and fitness.
Oh, wow.
I was like, dang, that's nuts. If you're number 4 in the nation, that's earning potential. But
that's pretty freaking good.
His health and fitness was more important to him, so I'm proud of him for making that commitment. All right, any other questions or comments, guys? Let's see if anybody.
Just a big thank you.
Yeah, a lot of good information, Todd.
Thanks, Todd.
Cool.
Lots of good info.
I'm glad you guys got some value from it. So I will be sure I'm going to stop the recording in a few seconds, and I will get this uploaded to YouTube, and I'll post it in the Elevation Coaches group, and I will also post it on the team training site if you guys want to share it with your coaches or
definitely.
So it'll be there. All right?
All right.
Take care, guys. God bless.
Thanks.
Have a good day, everybody.